All right, today's question. Why does God use such unlikely people to do his work? We're in Judges chapter 3, and right off the bat, God explains something important. He led some nations to the land to test Israel. In other words, the battles weren't just about land, they were about teaching his people obedience and dependence. Then we see the first three judges. First is Othniel. He's Caleb's nephew. He's filled with the Spirit of the Lord. And Israel's under oppression from the king of Mesopotamia, but God raises up Othniel, and the land has rest for 40 years. Short and simple, obedience and spirit-filled leadership, pray and peace. Then comes Ehud, and here's where the story gets wild. Ehud is left-handed, which in that culture made him a very unlikely hero, but God uses that very detail. He straps a dagger to his right thigh where no one expects a weapon, and he assassinates Eglon, the obese king of Moab, in a daring move. So through Ehud, Israel's delivered, and they have peace for 80 years. Now, most people just laugh at the strangeness of the story, but don't miss the truth. God delights to use the weak, the overlooked, and even the different to bring about his purposes. Finally, you get Shamgar. We get just one verse about him, but it's powerful. With nothing but an ox goad, which is a farmer's tool, he strikes down 600 Philistines. Talk about unlikely. A farmer, not a soldier, used by God to deliver his people. And here's what most people miss. The pattern's the same. Every time Israel sins, God gives them into enemy hands. They cry out. He raises up a deliverer, but every judge is temporary. Every victory is short-lived. This cycle points to our desperate need for a greater deliverer, one who can break the cycle once and for all. That deliverer is Jesus Christ, who conquers not with daggers or farm tools, but with the cross and an empty tomb. So what does Judges 3 teach us today? That God uses unlikely people in unlikely ways so that his glory shines through, and that sin always leads to bondage. But God is rich in mercy, and that our ultimate judge is Christ, the one who delivers fully and forever. So why does God use unlikely people to do his work? Because it makes it crystal clear that the power belongs to him, not to us. So keep reading your Bible and don't be dumb.